Hello, all my quilting friends. Happy Feature Friday. Thank you for joining us here in my quilting studio. We are going to go over the scale feature that is on your Butler robotic system. And I feel like this is something that we all may have worked with, but maybe you haven't realized that there's a lot of different ways you can do that. And I think this is something that I've been working with a lot lately, and maybe I didn't realize there were so many different ways you could work with the scaling feature. So maybe it's a matter of just learning that there are different ways to use it, and figure out which one is the easiest and best way for you to use it. So we're going to go ahead and look at my robotic system, and I'm going to tell you all the different ways that you can scale, and that way you can find the best one that works for you. Let's go ahead and switch my Butler robotics screen. We are going to be using my friend the bunny rabbit as our example today. And the first way you can scale into a space with a design is always using your autofill button. So if you've got this available to you, you can hit this and it will scale your design into your quilt pattern layout area. So I have this big box laid out, and it has made the rabbit fit both height and width-wise into that space just by hitting that one button. I'm going to go ahead and delete him, and we're going to go back to our patterns. Our patterns, and I'm going to just select my rabbit with my check mark so we can now look at the scale feature. So there he is, as intended by the designer. That's the size he was supposed to be, but we want to make him fit our space a little bit bigger, fill it up a little bit more. Our scale feature is here on the right side in our edit tab. So we're in edit. And our scale feature is here on the right side of our screen. It's the inside green ribbon, and it is the fourth icon down. Looks like a little square with an arrow coming out of the opposite corners. We are going to go ahead and engage that. And when we do that, our screen changes a little bit, and we've got some extra items here. So we've got both a vertical, horizontal, there's the horizontal slider bars. So you can use those to change the size of your design. We've also got plus and minus, vertical and horizontal added on here. We've got a button that says set size. And we've got this morph button and lock button, and an auto scale button. Those features aren't available for everybody, so we'll go over the ones first that are available for everybody, and then the ones that are available on the higher end models. So the first thing I want to look at is these slider bars. So when you touch the little black box that's in the silver slider, you can move, I gotta get straight on here. You can move up and down with that to change the size vertically. And you can come over here and change the size horizontally. So you can change the size of your design just by simply moving those slider bars. You also have your plus and minus on each side of the slider bars. So you can use those buttons to make your design smaller or bigger in width. And then these over here will make your design smaller and bigger in height. So you've got these to work with to change the size of your design. So you've got those available to you. Those are always fun and helpful. I like those. You can always touch on your design. And when you do that, you can see I've got these little blue circles that have shown up around the green box around my design. Those are size changing circles. If you just touch on them, you can slide in and out on your touch screen and change the size of your design. Magical. I love these. I am a touchscreen person, and I love that I can just touch on these and change the size of my design. That's awesome. So much fun. So that's another way you can change the size of your design. We also have this button here that says set size. So if we touch on that, it's going to come up with a keypad for us. And it wants us to enter the pattern height and width. So if we know we're trying to fill, let's say, a 10 by 10 block, you could put that in there, or maybe we need the rabbit in a 5 by 5 block, or whatever size space you're working with, you can always type that in. So let's put him in a 5 by 5. So I'm going to put a 5 and hit a check mark, and a 5 and hit a check mark. And now it's resized my rabbit to that height and width. So you've got that as another option, besides the slider bars, besides the plus and minus, besides the little blue nodes. That's another way you can resize this guy. Now, for those of you who have the mid-level and top-of-the-line Butler robotics system, you can also use your auto scale feature. So you've got two ways to use this. If you just use your auto scale feature and hit that, it is going to resize your design to fill your entire quilt space, regardless of height and width. It's just going to fill your space. We're going to go ahead and hit our back button here. I've got a little back button. Make him smaller again. I'm going to hit my lock button first. And when we do that, it's going to change my rabbit to fill my space more proportionally when I hit this button. So see how it doesn't take up the whole space, but he's a little bit more proportional. He was a little bit squattier when I hit it before using the lock button. Now that I've got that lock button engaged, they've changed the design more proportionally to fit my block along with the original intention of the design. So he's not as squatty as he was before, but he's awful cute looking. The last option that we have here, and this is available on the mid and top of the lines as well, is our morph button. So this is available for you to use if you want to fill your entire space. So that's filled the entire space. So where this is really helpful is if you're using a block design and your squares have gotten a little wonky as you've gone through quilting. So maybe your square isn't quite square, one side's a little bit longer and one side's a little bit shorter. Things have gotten a little bit warped or taken up as you've quilted and you've got a lot of dense quilting and a lot of batting. You can use your morph feature to size your rabbit into a 4-sided square or rectangle to get your sizing to fill up your entire space. Well, I hope that's made some sense for you guys. I have been using all of the different features recently to get my sizing for some projects that I've worked on. And I just thought, hey, you know, some things are easier for me to use than others. I'm a touchscreen person, but not everybody is. Maybe you want to use exact measurements and use that set size button. For those of you who have the mid and top of the line, maybe using that auto scale feature is most convenient for you. Sometimes you want to place things exactly the way you want them, and using those slider bars and plus and minus might work best. So it's really helpful to know that you've got a variety of options to scale the designs that are on your Butler robotics system. It's a great way to personalize what's available to you and really make it your own. Thanks so much for joining us today. Y'all have a great afternoon and enjoy your weekend.